Hi, this is Charisma from Charisma's Corner. Today I want to focus on the feather stitch in embroidery for our wool penny projects, the 365 and a year of stitches challenge. And I learned the feather stitch quite a while ago, and I have been looking at different images of the feather stitch, and I kept wondering why they were all different. There's actually a couple different ways to complete the feather stitch, and they're just minor differences, so I'm going to go through those with you. But also there is also, I think, a double feather stitch and a triple feather stitch. We're just going to go over the basic one first, and then maybe later on we can do another video showing the double one. So I have a few here of just the simple feather stitch and how I use them on my wool pennies. This is one of my favorite ways right here to make like a green vine. So you can see the green thread is actually the feather stitch, and then I just went in with different colored thread to make the French knots. That's actually a variegated thread. And then here I did a feather stitch sideways and then just kind of decorated my wool penny just to give it a different kind of look, to show you the different ways to do a feather stitch. So I'm going to go through this basic one that I show on these wool pennies, and I decided to draw some lines. I don't typically do that, but just for the sake of teaching you, I wanted to do this, and then I'll show you how to do it on the wool penny or confetti project without the lines. So you can see here I have 1, 2, 3 lines. So you start in the middle, you bring your thread up, then you go to the side, take your thread down. It's like an open chain stitch, or maybe like a variation of the fly stitch. So you just go down onto the middle line, line 2, catch the thread of that stitch, and then you make this V, and then you go over to line 1, right across from where you brought up that stitch to form the V on the last stitch. Do it again, come down to line 2 again, take that stitch, but catch your thread. So I'm just going to keep doing that so you can see what it looks like. And you just form this sort of vine. So the middle, then I'm going to go to the other side, go straight across from where you made that V, go down on line 2, and then line 3, go down to line 2. So it's very simple, very easy, but there's another way to do it. So you can see this line. So then when I did my French knots on the vines, I just added a French knot on each end of that. But there's another image of the basic feather stitch where they actually use 4 lines, and it's really making it so that that center, all of the lines aren't on one center, if that makes sense. So just going to show you how this happens. So I go on line 1, 2, 3, 4 is how I'm labeling those. So I'm on line 3. So I'm going to jump over here to line 1 and take my stitch, but then instead of going to line 3 where I would on the last one, I'm going to go to line 2, and I'm going to bring that thread up. Now I'm going to go to line 4. I'm going to go straight across, but I'm going to come up on line 3. Now I'm going to go to line 1, and I'm going to come up on line 2. I'm going to go to line 4 and come up on line 3. So it's sort of a little bit of a different look. I guess it just depends on what you like, what you prefer, or maybe what you're using it for. So then on my wool pennies, I have this here. I have one done up here, and I was just practicing the different stitches to see what they look like. But another fun way to do that was maybe to go diagonal. I've done this on a few. So I'm starting in this corner here, and I'm gonna just take my stitch, catch my thread, I'm gonna go to one side, and I used a really thick thread on this so that you could see it. Then I'm going to go over here. Go down the middle. So the other thing about this, since I used a thick thread, I'm taking kind of big stitches. I could go in with a smaller thread and not just do French knots. I could probably go in here and fill it in with some lazy daisies to give this vine some more delicate leaves or something like that. You know, thread choice just really determines a lot about the stitches. So you need to think about that when you're deciding on an embroidery stitch and how you want to embellish them. I could even go in with a more dainty thread on the sides here with like maybe another green thread and do the same feather stitch and just make it look like a couple of different vines, but use the same stitch. So there's just lots of ways to embellish and get a different look for the different squares that we're working on. And I'm just going to take that back down so you can see the stitch. So that is the feather stitch done Charisma's way. Doesn't mean it's the right way, just my way. So I would just love to see more pictures of all of your wool confetti projects and the wool penny projects. And of course, we again are doing the 365 stitch challenge. So you can join my group or just post them on Instagram. And my Facebook name is Charisma Horton and my website is charismascorner.com. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.